welcome to CTI's Town Hall. Today is the 26th of March, and we welcome to our show. Also have a blessed weekend. We're glad that everyone from the U.S. and from also Asia is here. I believe we have Eduardo with us, who is live in Brazil. Eduardo, are you there?
I'm just here.
Waiting for over a year, and now the shots are becoming very prevalent. I know in America, I've heard that they were almost at 40%, so in other countries as well. The CDC has issued that, there was a request from CLIA, which is the Cruise Line International Association, to go back to cruising, if we could go back to cruising this summer. But unfortunately, they have said no. They still want to stay with their no-sell order, which is in effect until November. So what is happening? The cruise lines have said, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Then we'll take some of our ships elsewhere. Royal Caribbean will be sailing out of Bermuda. They will be sailing also out of the Bahamas. And celebrities also in that group. So that's the Royal Caribbean group. They've decided to not just sit and wait on the CDC, which they've put their healthy sail panel in order. They've got their protocols in order. There are over 350,000 people who have already cruised successfully around the world. And we keep wondering why it takes so long in the U.S. And of course, everybody puts the blame on the CDC. This past week, there was a big conference held from the CDC, and a lot of questions were asked. And unfortunately, the CDC did not have many straightforward answers. They were talking about, well, okay, we're working on it, and a lot of those videos on YouTube if you want to go watch. I do believe that we will see cruising resume very, very quickly in the U.S. But again, we have some videos. We'll be showing you some things that we've collected over the week just to keep you informed. And this, of course, is our news for crew. The first company we would like to talk about is Carnival. And everybody, of course, knows Christine Duffy. Christine Duffy has put out a video late last night, and we have that video for you here today. So let's talk about what's going on with Carnival.
Good day, and welcome back to the Executive Outlook. We are pleased to bring you news for crew, and the latest message from Christine Duffy, President of Carnival Cruise Line. This message was recorded on March 25, 2021. Today, Christine reiterates that Carnival is America's cruise line, and has no plans to move their home ports from the United States. Christine also touches on vaccines and further information on the CDC. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Christine Duffy.
Hi everyone. With all the recent news about cruise restart, I wanted to give you an update about our plans here at Carnival Cruise Line. As you know, we've been operating under the CDC's conditional sail order, which was issued last fall, actually prior to the approval and introduction of vaccines. The industry this week, through our trade association CLIA, has formally asked the CDC to amend the conditional sail order and allow cruising to begin this summer. Now, in spite of some recent headlines that came out following that, the CDC has actually not changed their original guidance at this time. We continue to be very encouraged about recent vaccine distribution and the positive progress this signals. Vaccines are a very important tool, along with advancements in treatment therapies for COVID and contact tracing technology and affordable testing. Our decisions about vaccines continue to be informed by our global medical and science experts and of course the requirements of the places from which we operate our ships and the destinations we visit. Having said that, and based on available science today, I hope that everyone will be vaccinated over time. In fact, I'll be getting my vaccine tomorrow. But we have not made any decisions about vaccines being a requirement. With regard to our operations, the timing for restart in the U.S. continues to be a bit uncertain. Some cruise lines have canceled their June sailings, and several cruise lines have recently announced itineraries that will operate outside the U.S. and require guests over the age of 18 and all crew to be vaccinated. Some of our Carnival Corporation sister brands are offering limited sailings for guests who have received the vaccine. We have not made a decision here at Carnival about our June sailings. If in fact we could be given the opportunity to restart cruising from the U.S. Now, in order to provide our guests with maximum flexibility, we are advising today that anyone on a June sailing can cancel without penalty, and we are moving final payment deadlines for June cruises until April 30. Here at Carnival Cruise Line, we currently do not have any plans to move our ships away from their U.S. home ports. I have always said Carnival Cruise Line is America's cruise line. We sail from 14 U.S. home ports, 50% of our itineraries are less than 7-day sailings, and a significant number of our guests drive to their Carnival cruise vacation. We also sail more families and children than any other cruise line. And as you know, so far, the vaccines are not approved for anyone under the age of 16. As more Americans are vaccinated, our focus is on securing a decision that will allow for a resumption in cruising from our U.S. home ports, consistent with the expected return of other forms of travel for the summer. But with the promise that all Americans who want a vaccine will have access to one by the end of May, we are optimistic that we will see travel resume in time for summer. Now, if it's safe to fly on an airplane, stay in a hotel or resort, or visit an amusement park, should be safe to cruise on a ship with the additional health and safety protocols that we have in place. Thank you all for your patience and support. We are all extremely anxious to resume cruising when the time is right, and hopefully from the U.S. We miss having guests on board, but we again appreciate all of your partnership. Thank you.
Please take a moment and subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell if you are interested in news for crew. We also request if you like viewing these short videos, please hit the like button, letting YouTube know you like our content. As we all get ready to go back to work, remember one thing. Take care of yourself and do not forget WAAS. We are all seafarers.
Yes, I am. Good morning from Brazil. Good evening to. Yes, my microphone is mute. Yeah, I'm here. My microphone is mute. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay, so first of all, good morning from Brazil. Good evening to everybody in Asia. As always, welcome to our town hall show. This year it's like a little out of the control. I don't know if you guys watch news. I don't like very much to watch news, but a lot going on in Brazil here. Most people they didn't get the vaccine. The people 7 years old they haven't get the vaccine yet. So I don't know basically how this is happening, but the situation here it's not that good. But the other hand, we can see much progress in the United States, also different countries. A lot of people getting vaccinated, and which is good for the cruise industry, and of course good for them.
In the video vaccine, we're talking about vaccines, right? And I had my second shot
Yeah, actually, it's a lot of humors here, people. Brazil is a very corrupt country. It's like it, it turns in a situation that is out of control, and people now they don't know how to measure the normal, and they like something like too much, and we live on this too much every single day. I hear, I don't know if this is true, but other countries they send money to Brazil, and they send money to countries who is struggling about COVID. And in some states of Brazil, they get money if your city is struggling with hospitals and a lot of people dying. So the city that I'm in right now, it's one of those cities who's struggling. And a lot of people are dying here, and then we don't know exactly if they are doing this on purpose because they want to get money from and not treating people as they should be treated, or is really because they don't have oxygen or they don't have the right equipment to treat them. But the situation is they are trying to lock people in their houses, but they don't have money, they don't have food. So the situation is getting worse every single day because nobody's working, and pretty much how they're going to buy food, how they're going to survive, and the math doesn't match. It's kind of really crazy here.
Well, let's hope and pray for the people of Brazil, and hopefully the government can get its act together because this is a pandemic. It still is a pandemic, and it is spreading around the world. I know that we're going to talk a little bit later about Indonesia. They have started the vaccine. We have some of our staff who have received the vaccine. But we'd also like to talk about something a little more positive now. We have the Maritime Challenge, and we have some videos coming up for that in a moment. But you want to give us an update there, Eduardo?
Oh yes, so the Maritime Challenge is a good news, as we already done in 2020. In 2021 it's going to be much better. You guys can see this ad is going to be up to $4,000, and at this time one person price is around $1,000. So it's going to be more than one winner. You know, we probably want to have 8 winners. We already have the whole instruction of the Maritime Challenge, how we're going to run. So people have to submit the video. The categories is going to be skills demonstration, like a singer, dancer, a storyteller, which is really good. Everybody has a story to tell. Once you go to our website, cti-usa.com, you can see a tab there, and you upload a video, put some information there. We are going to select a video and then bring your video live here on on our
Video.
so if your video reach a certain amount of views, you go to the next level. You're going to the next stage of the Maritime Challenge 2021. This week I have prepared my Maritime Challenge, and I told my story and I put on the video. I kind of illustrate a little bit, because being in here where I grew up, where I born, it made me that my story very similar with your story, you know, coming from a poor country and a poor environment, and then you have that drive to do something to turn your life into something better. I know you guys using the opportunity to work on a ship, to buy a house for your family, you know, to open your own business in the future.
The
and
short one.
You're really
Just,
right on that.
The Maritime Challenge. The video.
Hello?
Yeah, you still there? All right, sorry
Yeah.
about that. No. So we do have better prizes this year, much better prizes this year. We've actually upped our game. As you said, there are iPads, there are cameras, there are airline tickets, all kinds of things, and we've actually expanded it this year, where we're going to allow for those who are in the maritime industry, and also that means for those who are at the moment. So school, tanker, oiler, cruise ship. We're going to have people who work for Virgin all compete.
It's very close to my house. Back then we didn't have a good access to money. Like today we have credit cards and things like that. And it was very difficult even to buy a book to take to the school. It was very complicated story. But the point that I want to mention here on this video is because I can relate my story with your story. Like coming from Malaysia, coming from Myanmar, coming from Indonesia, from a poor family, like you don't have much money, you don't have much things to bring in your house and then share with your family, share with your brothers. And you build that desire to become something in order to support your family and give them a better life. So that was not different, happened with me when I was a kid. But we didn't have CTI when I was growing up, right? At this country here, we are not really strong cruise industry. Even if it's São Paulo, it's a different story, but here in my state, it's not really strong with cruise industry. But soccer was a choice for me. Soccer put me on the road and helped me build my dreams. Everything that I have today, you know, I built this house here, I built a house beside for my mom, a little piece of each job that I have done, like part from soccer, part as an entrepreneur living in São Paulo, part working for CTI, part working in USA for a different job. Like everything every piece a little bit, you put a little bit in your assets, and you try to bring that comfortability to you and your family, and make sure that if something happens in the future, you're gonna be okay. But along the way, I found out that it's not only looking for properties or looking for material things, but also developing yourself, develop your personality, you know. And from the entire city, how many people who is going to succeed, who knows, right? So you may be from Jakarta, which is a lot of people live there, maybe from Bali, and you wonder yourself, so who's gonna win this battle? Who's gonna succeed in life? And I always believe that the only ones who's going to win is those people who never give up, but always live on the edge, always live taking risks, always live open new gates, open new doors, try to do something different, try to improve the game, try to make themselves better, try to be honest with themselves, don't cheat yourself. If you're not feeling good in something, you have to talk to yourself, you have to have that conversation with yourself. So my Maritime Challenge is pretty much it. Like I wanna share with you guys a little bit about where I grew up until 14 years old. That's the age when I left my house, and the school that I have been, you know, the locations around. Today it's a lot of houses around, you know, things got really, really better, and it's still it's still not that good, but it's got really, really better based on how it was. And of course, whoever comes right now, whoever's born right now is gonna born in a much better environment than I born back then. But I believe that I had a great momentum because we could play with kids, we could get dirty, we could, fight, we do many things what we cannot do today. So get inspired from this, understanding that when I go in front of you representing CTI, when I go talk to you, I know really what you're feeling. I know what it feels when you open your refrigerator and you don't have anything inside. I know what it feels when you want to give something to your mom or someone that you love and you don't have money for that. So take that as a drive, take that as a motivation, and try to improve yourself, because today you have the source, today you have the camera, you can watch me right now, you can also prepare yourself, you can also improve your English. I'm very pleased from God for put me in a good environment, put good people around me, but at the same time, I know that everything that I did in my life is worth it, because today I can talk to you and nobody here around me. I just few people maybe in that speak English around me. So which means I became different. As I always say, make a difference. So I made a difference. And become different doesn't mean that I'm the best, but around millions, maybe around billions people around the world, I'm the one who speak English and I can talk to you, I can reach your life. And through CTI, we can change your life for something much better. Help you go around the world, help you develop your game, helping you improve in your career. So this is my Maritime challenge. This is my story. I didn't went through details, but basically I want to show you guys that I came from this place and I put myself on a situation that I had to win no matter what. And that's why I built my house in the same neighborhood that I grew up. I could build my house in a fancy and a nice neighborhood, like people, have more money around, but I like these neighbors here. I like the people that I live here. Everybody know who I am, and I can still inspire people here that live beside my mom, beside myself. I don't live here anymore, but every time when I come here, I can talk to them and give them some instruction. So thank you so much for watching this video here. Go ahead, prepare your Maritime challenge, put yourself in a situation that you can win these prizes, that you can take advantage of this and then share something significant with the world and make an impact. So representing CTI here, thank you so much for being watching. And don't forget, click on this button to subscribe on our channel. Be part of what we do. Get yourself ready, because your day is coming, and your day is coming right now. Thank you.
So we do apologize for that. So thanks to Eduardo for sharing that information to you. A very touching story. As you say, you've grown up there. You've been successful. You're on your way to be even more successful. And it's always nice to see where people live and where they've grown up. It was great to see your mother there. She was 70 years old. You celebrated your birthday with her. And I believe that both of you were born on the same day, which is just amazing in itself. She looks like a lovely, lovely lady. And I know that you have seen some of the pictures you have sent us that hopefully we'll be able to see those next week. But she's also an artist, and it takes a truly amazing woman to put that onto a canvas. So congratulations, and we hope that you had a great birthday. You're having a great time there, getting some rest, because as the cruise industry gets ready to go back, trust me, there's going to be a lot of work ahead. So back to traveling. I believe you've had your first COVID shot, correct?
Yeah, I had my COVID shot, and I'm gonna take a second once I got in the United States. Just think I want to highlight to those people that is watching us right now. Once we start this house show just 1 year ago, we start to do the live through our Facebook, and then we move to YouTube, which is a better platform to work with. But some people, they start along with us, and then some people along the way, they give up. Maybe because they got interested in something else, or maybe because they got tired to wait. A lot of time we see it's coming, it's coming. Cruise line always had to work under someone off. But for those people that is hanging there, for those people that is really believe that your time is coming, your time is coming. As I was mentioning to you guys, some cruise line is gonna return just right now in June, and you have to keep believing, because what I just showed you is a race. Life has a race. When I grew up here, there's a lot of people around me, and right now I made myself different. Right? If I have to go out and then talk to someone, I can see the difference between myself and them, and you have the same. I've been to Jogja, Jakarta, I've been to Bangkok, I've been to Bali, all these places. And the only thing you have to do is believe that is your time is right here in front of you, and keep coming here every Friday. Keep watching the videos. Some videos is cartoon, some video is live, some video is the stream. You have to watch all of those, because when you get on the ship, you're gonna make yourself different, and that's when you're going to get your job back, when you're gonna build your career. Don't give up, guys. I know that it's take a long time. Sometimes it's hard, even for us, to put things together, because we've been waiting as well. We can't wait to return. But if you that watching us right now, you don't have that belief, you're gonna miss your opportunity, because you already came too far from the beginning of the pandemic until here. So why are you gonna give up right now? So share this live with your friends, bring your friends here, tell them that we also have the Maritime Challenge. We're gonna bring more prizes. We're gonna help you guys get ready. So don't give up, keep hanging there, because your time is right here and is right in front of you.
I agree, and a very inspiring story. I know Eduardo's been here for how many years now, Eduardo?
July is going to complete 3.
Yeah, in 3 years, and he's everybody. And so many crew have come to love Eduardo as he does his live show with OTC. It's one of the schools that he works very closely with, and CTI as well. But he's created a lot of goodwill out there on behalf of the company and, of course, the cruise lines. Again, let me take a quick moment to apologize for the technical issues here. Something here which I'm going to move off to the side, which we have just, by the way, and if you're into technical things, but this is our new Roadcaster Pro, which will also take us to the next level. Here at CTI, we're able to take live phone calls in from our show. So soon you will be able to call live into the show and ask Eduardo or myself questions. So guys, get ready as we continue to improve not only our internet speed, which apparently is not fast enough, although it's 1 gigabyte. But anyway, we've got a lot of new things coming, so we welcome you to that. Speaking of the cruise lines, as we say, they are going back, and Celebrity is one of those. And if you were here last week, you probably saw our videos on how we were with women. We highlighted women of the world, and especially women in the cruise industry. Well, this video was released last night, and finally Celebrity says, you know what? It's not someday. Someday is here. They are going to be sailing out of St. Martin, and this is a great video with Celebrity Cruises.
Someday is finally here, and we're ready to sail beyond again, without compromise. Our crew is working to perfect every detail. All that's missing is you. So let's go. Discover a new collection of award-winning vacations from Celebrity Cruises. Someday is finally here, and we're ready to sail beyond again.
Okay, sorry about that. Hires a lot of women. We are again looking to hire a lot of women at CTI. So if you're a woman out there, show us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're there. That's important. And we will be actively searching for women to join many cruise lines that we represent. Royal Caribbean, let's talk about the chairman, and that happens to be Mr. Richard Fain. And there was a recent meeting that he was in, and he made a statement. He says that the framework for conditional sailing that is in place at the moment is unworkable. And one of the reasons is that Many months ago, when they put this order in, there were no vaccines. People were not vaccinated. People were not getting better. The death rate was still climbing. And of course, it's dropped dramatically now. So he is saying that, this may be unworkable, and the CDC needs to really look at this and make sure that, it's still effective. And I think that there's going to be a lot of discussion coming up in the next week or two that we'll be bringing to you as it happens, that we're going to see cruising opening up not so far in the distant future. But as the CDC has made the statement that they will not open until November. But let's see how that plays out. Royal Caribbean will be going to Bermuda, which is great. They'll be sailing out of there. So all the Americans who want to go there. And again, crew, please pay attention, because this means that you'll be going back to work earlier. If you work for Royal Caribbean, please go see your agency. Please see what the instructions are. Please check your emails. Please check everything that the cruise lines do in order to get you back to the ship safely. We're going to be talking about, the processes on how to get back to a ship. But first, we'd like to also talk about, things are going back to normal. There are graduation ceremonies being held in Jakarta, and we had one of our staff there, Mr. Eddie Iskandar. And as we look through these pictures, you can see that things are still happening. Even though many countries are shelter in place, as they call it, or quarantine, there are other countries that are still doing graduations, and things are getting back to normal. And as you can see the pictures on the screen, we have there, this was a big ceremony that Eddie, who works in Jakarta, had taken the time to go visit and see. And you can see there, the students are graduating, right? They all have masks, everybody's social distancing. So life is starting to carry on, which is very, very important. One of the things we'd like to present is kind of a step-by-step procedure on what you can expect to go to or go through if you have not gone through it yet. We're talking about going back to the ship. The vaccine rollout is happening now. I have some pictures for you in a few moments of people in Bali getting shots. But one of the things I would like to say about vaccines as well is that it's rolled out at different times in different places. For example, we have a lot of people saying that why is Bali the first place to get a vaccine in Indonesia? Why doesn't Jakarta have it? Why doesn't Jogja? Every country decides what section they're going to open first. And as we all know, Bali is a huge tourism area. And so there are vaccines that are being actually distributed now. So hold on, right? It has nothing really to do with the agency. The government makes the decision on where they will be opening. Same thing here in America, right? It happened in many states before it happened in Florida, but you will be able to see vaccines coming out very, very soon. So please stay in touch with your agency as they will bring information to you. Now, one of the things that we want to talk about is what is the procedure for going back to the ship? The most important thing is that your documents are ready. You must have your documents ready. And we've done a video here. It's called Carnival Return to Service, and actually it applies to all cruise lines. And what you need to know when you go back to the ship, some of the things that may happen. So please take a second and watch the video.
Hello and welcome back to CTI's News for Carnival Crew, the best place to stay updated with all the new Carnival Crew member guidelines. In today's episode, we will be going over some frequently asked questions and any need-to-know information. Throughout this series, we have covered many of the new guidelines for being back on board, but it's possible that you may still have some questions. Our hope is that many of those questions will be answered by the end of this video. First, we'll talk about what you can expect to be different during an operational pause. Because of uncertain travel regulations, it is possible you will be delayed in joining the ship. Operational pauses will only have a small number of crew on board without any guests. This may cause you to have other types of work aside from what you're used to. Shore leave might not be allowed in some locations, and there will be fewer social activities due to keeping physical distances. Next on our list is talking about what will happen if you get COVID-19 while out at sea. The onboard medical staff is equipped to handle most COVID-19 cases. However, if a case is too severe, you may be transferred to a hospital on shore for specialized care. If you need to see a specialist for any other medical reasons, please understand that these visits may not be as available. Also, if you have prescription medication, we advise you to bring at least a 2-month supply, because it may be difficult to get more. Some other things to know. Both the crew and passenger gyms will be closed. All crew will be put into single cabins to ensure their safety and maintain social distancing. Contact your agent to schedule and take PCR tests 72 hours prior to traveling. Everyone is doing their best to keep the crew healthy, both physically and mentally. There will be discounted internet plans to keep in touch with loved ones. And, if the ship is able to, onboard activities will also be planned for the crew to stay entertained. We hope that many of your questions have been answered, but if you still have any, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video. If you want to stay up to date with news for crew, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be updated on new videos. Also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Have a great day. That's it for today's episode. Stay safe.
To go back to the ship, right? These things are constantly changing. I know that Carnival's putting out new procedures. So again, I can only ask, make sure that your email is up to date, make sure that your phone is on, make sure that you're staying in touch with whatever agency may be there to assist you. Now let's talk about documentation, right? Some of the things that are very important, and we've been preaching this since, I guess, day one that we started our show. Your passport must be up to date. It must have at least 1 year validity. If you have not done this, I am telling you right now, and this comes from all of the cruise lines, they keep saying, who's ready, whose passport's ready? Do you have a visa? Have you applied for a visa? There's a lot of employment letters that have been sent out. Have you applied for your visa, and have you gotten your visa? Make sure you let the agency know. This is very, very important. The Seaman's Book, is it up to date? Is it valid? Is the STCW certificate up to date, and is it valid? Your medical, do you have to redo your medical? Ask the agency. They will tell you. Some cruise lines are requiring updated medicals, and of course, they may have new procedures that you have to follow. Again, your agency will have all this information for you. Now, there's also required government procedures. Depending on what country you're from, will be depending on those procedures. For example, in Indonesia, there's a sign off and a sign on. It's called mustering on and mustering off. You must report to the agency. They will take your information. And the reason for this is because if something happens, the first person who's going to call the agency will probably be your family. They may not be able to get hold of the cruise line overseas, so they're going to go to the agency. If they do not have a record of you signing on to the ship, knowing your itinerary, then of course they're going to say, well, I don't know where your child is, and that's the worst thing that can happen. So please, you need to muster on and muster off. Going back to the vaccines, again, let me reiterate that the vaccines are distributed by the government. Who decides when and where the vaccines will actually be distributed. Now, we understand that the government of Indonesia has set aside 220,000 shots for seafarers. So great news for the seafarers. Be watching for more information on that. Now, also, you have to have a PCR test. And in the PCR test, you really never know exactly which cruise line, because some are saying 96 hours, some are saying 72 hours, some are saying 48 hours. Again, check with your agency to be sure. That PCR test must be done, and I gave those hours right before you board the plane, because it has to be valid, to your final destination within that time. Now, let's talk about the procedures that once you've gone through, you've got your employment letter, you've got your visa, all your documents in order. What's going to happen then will be you'll be put in a hotel for quarantine. Every cruise line is different. Some are 7, some are 14, some are 3 days, but there will be a registration at the hotel. Once you register at the hotel, you will find out that, again, there's social distancing check-in. This is very important. This is where there will be, as you can see in our pictures, there is everybody is spaced apart, everybody's taking care of each other, so be sure to watch that. The next thing, once you check in, you will be escorted to your room. And when you're escorted to your room, you will go in that room and you will need to stay in that room. You're not there on vacation. You're there to stay in the room to make sure that you don't socialize with other people. There'll be 3 meals a day. There will be laundry provided. The internet is provided, so you'll be able to stay in touch with your friends and family, and you'll be able to watch our program, which is important. Even when you get on the ship, if you're going to have internet, be sure and take us with you and watch. Now, after that, you will register for the first PCR test. When you get to the hotel, naturally everybody has to have a PCR test, right? There may be a second PCR test. And as you can see in the pictures, if you've never had a PCR test, I can assure you it's not the most pleasant thing. And for those crew members who are going back, God bless you. Thank you for doing that, because it's a little evasive if you're not used to people, of course, giving you that PCR test. Now, when you leave the hotel, you will be getting another PCR test before you get on the plane or before you join the ship, the second PCR test. Now, moving along, we would also like to thank for all of those frontline workers that we call them, who are out there giving the test and watching over us. You know, we talk about who are frontline workers. Frontline workers are traditionally known as doctors and nurses who take care of everyone. This is something that I would also like you to consider. The agencies are frontline workers to try and get you back to the ship as soon as possible. They're there to help you. So please take time to listen to them. They're there to make sure you get to the ship. So they're your frontline worker. Now, they're not in the medical field, but they are the people helping you with the documentation and making sure that the government has all the information that it needs. And we thank all of those frontline workers. After you get your test, guess what's going to happen? You're going to board a bus. And the bus is a COVID-approved bus. And as you can see in the pictures here, these are massive buses, and they're not cramming everybody into a bus. There is also social distancing while you are on that bus. The bus will pick you up from the hotel, and then they'll take you to the airport. Now, when you get to the airport, you will see lots of people checking in. You will see that, there again, everybody's social distancing, have their mask on. Always keep your mask on when you're traveling. This is very, very important. Also, at the hotel, you will find out, we have some pictures here of some of our Thai crew. And this is at the big the big airport in Thailand. And we also have, which is really nice, our GM there, Sam, escorts the people as well to the airport, making sure they get off, everybody holding their CTI sign, thanks. And you see these beautiful young ladies there, they're off to the ship as well. In Bali, we have the same procedures. You can see that in Bali, right, people with their luggage ready to go. Now, this gentleman here, I would suggest that you don't take a whole lot of luggage. This guy seems to be very well prepared. Lots of luggage there, and of course there'll be limited storage on the ship for luggage, as you probably know. So this guy's a repeater, and he's probably got it down, and he knows exactly what he needs to take back. So during this time, again, there's always the people behind the scenes. For example, you saw in Thailand, you see in Bali, you see in Jakarta and Jogja. There's a lot of people behind the scenes to make this happen, and it just doesn't happen by itself. So again, I want to thank everybody from all of the offices over there who make this actually get to this point. One day we'll look back and we'll look at these pictures and we'll say, oh my God, remember when? Because this too shall pass, as we know. Now, some people will go directly to the airport, and some people will go on what's called a ship's tender. If you're not familiar with cruise ships, it's the boats that hang on the side that come down, and when a ship can't dock, then that takes the people ashore. But in this instance, we have it actually coming to the pier, grabbing the crew members, and then taking the crew members to the ship. So this is a way to transport, of course, people around and get them to the ship. And the ship, of course, wants to remain quarantined. Now, a lot of people have been taking pictures. We really, really thank them for that, because pictures are worth 1,000 words. You know, we talked earlier about the vaccine is in Bali, and if you see the picture on the screen, here we have one of the founding fathers of CTI. I'm glad to say he's a very close friend of mine, Mr. Nyoman Restu, and his wife, Ms. Putu. They are getting their first COVID shots, and then also our business partners in Indonesia as well. Mr. Leo and Mrs. Wawas, they're also getting their COVID shots. So COVID shots, or vaccines, I should say, are in place for sure. One of the things we want to bring to your attention, and maybe we can go back to Mr. Eduardo, is he's standing by because we would like to discuss this together. Mr. Eduardo, we did actually a presentation on this in the past, and it's about scammers. And one of the things that we notice is the more desperate people are to go back to the ship, the more scams you start to find going on. This is one that we picked up off the internet, and let me assure you, this is not authorized by Virgin Voyages. This is something that pops up. The agency here is not authorized in the picture to recruit on behalf of Virgin Voyages. Officially, CTI and Apollo are the Asia representative in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Myanmar, also in Malaysia, right? We are their official representative, and of course, this is not we want you guys not to be scammed by that. Eduardo, do you remember these kind of things happening?
Oh yeah. So if you go into Facebook, a lot of cruise industry groups searching for opportunity to work. Some people, unfortunately, they are not capable yet to work. They want to know. They want to go no matter what, and they pay, side, and that's when the scammers take place. Some people are capable, but they don't want to spend time looking for the legal agents. We already have videos on our YouTube channel talking about the legal agents, how important it is, and CTI is a legal agent. We talk about MLC and explain to them why they have to go to it. Also to avoid this type of scams, because as people get excited and they want to go, they only want us hear the yes. See, if they go to CTI say, oh no, you're not sent to the ship right now because due to COVID, they don't want that answer. They want to look for someone who's going to say, oh yes, I can send you right now. Give me $1,000 and I'll send you. So now they found a scammer, and pretty much things happen like this.
That this is an ongoing issue, actually throughout the world, not only in Asia, but throughout the world. So we caution everyone out there, make sure that, cruise lines will deal with accredited agencies who are licensed by the government. You can walk into any agency and say, hey, I'd like to see your license. It should be updated. It should be valid. They should have an MLC certificate. So if someone just contacts you by WhatsApp or Facebook, be very, very cautious. And they can also make license look very real. And there are websites in countries that you can look and say, okay, let me verify this employment agency. So please, so many people have been taken advantage of. We ask that you not let that happen to you. Royal Caribbean uses authorized agencies. Carnival uses authorized agencies, which we are authorized for Carnival. MSC, Apollo, Virgin, all uses authorized agents. And they may say, oh, we're recruiting, we have a special deal. They don't have a special deal. All right, I think we're going to wrap this show up. Eduardo, do you have any last minute comments you would like to bring?
Yeah, but let's inviting everyone to go to our website, prepare your video for the Maritime Challenge. Just got started. Let's put this way, today, I had made my video, and we are very curious to know about your story, to see your talent through a cooking demonstration or magic, or maybe with that talent that you have, but you can submit the video to us. So let's get it started on our Maritime Challenge 2021. And thank you so much, guys, for being here with us. As was mentioned, when we start the race, we have lots of people, and for those who are still here with us, they are winning, they are getting things from CTI, they are growing with CTI. And as this pass, guys, going to be rewarded for sure.
Yes, so thank you for that, Eduardo. It's been a great you being from Brazil. We would like to say thanks and watch over your mother and take care of everybody down there. You be safe, Eduardo will be back in the studio in the next couple of weeks, so we'll look forward to having him back. But again, thanks to everyone for joining us. All I can say is take care of each other, right? If you haven't gotten your shot yet, if it's not available, I know that in many places it's still not available, then find out, search out how you can do that. If you are a crew member, it is very important that, again, you keep in touch with the agency and ask them what's going on, as they are very aware in the local area. So we'd like to wind this up, and thanks for everybody for watching. But before you go, take 1 second and give us a like and join our channel, because it's very important to YouTube to know that the content we're providing. And again, let me apologize for the hookups and some of the technical issues, but I assure you we will get those fixed. So everybody have a blessed weekend. Take care of yourself. Good night.